Hello, good evening, and welcome back to Danley Duncan on preaching. In this video, I'm going to share with you about the Logos search. And this, might I say, is one of the reasons why Logos, I would say, is the best Bible software for pastors, for Christians, for believers, for preachers. And I'm going to show you how you can use the search in Logos to help you in your sermon preparation, in preparing for Sunday school, Bible lessons, anything. All right. The search is there to help you, assist you greatly. One of the things I often say is with Logos, you don't have to go through the Google search engine. You don't have to go to Google because Logos is designed in such a way that it has everything that you need. There will be one or two things that you you may you may want that Logos may not provide, but when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to Bible questions, Bible answers, and anything surrounding the Bible, Logos got you covered. So let's jump into it this evening. And the first thing you got to do is, well, you got to find where the search is. So let me just move this thing here. I'm going to expand the left panel all the way down there. And you can see search is just under library. So you're going to click search. All right. I'm going to collapse the panel. I want us to put it to the center. Right. Put it to the center. We have to work with a scripture. So I'm going to open my Bible. So, and all right. Okay. Let's just work with James 4:8. Let's work with James 4:8. Uh, it could be 6 as well because 6 is on the screen. Let's go from 6 to 8. Yeah, 6 to 8 thereabout. But let's just take verse 6. Okay, and verse 6 is James 4:6 says, He gives more grace. Therefore, it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Okay, so the word that is repeated, of course, is grace and gives as well. But let's look at grace. So you are studying this verse and you're looking at it. Of course, grace will be on your mind. As you can see, this is the search area, all right, where you can gather all the information that you need. So, uh, where do we go from here? As you see, there's a precise search. You can do a precise search. We're going to do that first. And we're going to type in grace, um, all passages. So this is all passages. We will do another search, but let's just do all passages. Note at the top, you can do grace and look at all meaning all your books, right? And even books that you don't have as well. There are some findings that can show up. Okay, but we want to start with the Bible. So we're going to look at grace and we just press enter. So we have all right, we have 131 results in 122 verses. And the first place where grace is found in the Old Testament, we have it in Esther. Interesting. So what about that verse? What about that verse, Noah found grace? Is it Genesis? Okay, let's change the version. All right. So let's say you had that verse just like what I'm thinking. Let's say you had that verse in your mind, grace, and Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And you had that verse in your mind, and you're thinking, oh, sure, that will show up. But you chose the ESV. Okay, so let's change the Bible. Let's go to the King James, KJV. All right. I have the King James there. Ah, there it is. You see? Matter of fact, as you can see, the the amount of findings, the results changed when we turn to King James, which means that the King James would have translated a number of Greek words, Hebrew words first, and even Greek words as grace, but I think in the ESV, it will be favor. Let's see. Okay. It will be favor, right? It will not be grace, but it will probably translate it favor, which is the same thing, and so on. Okay. So let's keep it there, King James, no problem. That's okay. But if we want to go back, okay, if you want to just go back to the previous version, so you don't necessarily have to change the version there, there's an arrow right next to charts, and you could just press back and it takes you back. Now you notice the difference, 131 versus 170. All right, 131 versus 170. A number of things you can do um with your search, and I'm gonna show you, in a few minutes, I'm gonna show you what you can do. But let's say you don't want just grace, the word grace. Okay, we're gonna come back to this now, but you want hmm, you want, let's say, hmm, show me, oh, let's, where grace was was given in the Bible. Okay, let's see. Where grace was given in the Bible. Okay, for by grace, so for salvation. Right? My grace is sufficient for you. Right? Bring salvation where grace was given. All right. Right. So this give me some verses where grace was given in different situations, I would say. Mhm. Romans 11:6. But if it's by grace, it's not basic. Okay. All right. So it talks about salvation there. All right. So that's fine. That's fine. But let's say now I want to define grace, and we're going to look at the books. When you come to the books section, you can check your books, right? You can go to print library. I guess you can click the Bible as well, but that would be kind of redundant because the verses that show up when you click Bible would probably show up. But I have my own collections here. So I'm going to leave it at your books, and then I'm going to change the option. So define grace. Enter. This is called the smart search. So this is different than the precise search. The precise search is where they will look for these two words, define and grace. They will look for those two words and find them where exactly they are seen in the Bible or the books that you're searching. The smart search would give you a synopsis, a summary, and it will find it. And if I do that as well with the Bible, it will not even be in order, like how the precise search will be in order. Okay. So this synopsis is there, and this is good as well. This is very important as well, because this kind of summarize everything that you have below there. So let's see. Grace fundamentally describes receiving favor that has been earned, and it gives you the reference as well. Okay, let's see if I can click on it. Ah, if I click on it, it takes me to the reference and it opens it. Undeserved favor. All right, it is wonderful. You know why this is wonderful as well? For those of you who you have grown up using Google, as in your preaching, that is. And you started at that place where you're preparing a sermon, and boy, you're combing through Google. You're combing through it. You're trying to find information. You're pulling, you're ransacking Google. You're turning over stuff, and you're trying to find something. Those days. Thank God for Logos. Yeah. So you're defining grace. I mean, sometimes you want to, what is grace? And you type that in Google, and of course, a number of definitions are gonna come up. Especially nowadays days when you have AI, AI is gonna, fast forward that for you really quickly. But a number of books and number of sites, and sometimes you don't know, the author, the sites are the trusted sites and so on, right? But Logos is a place where you can get your information from the trusted resources that you have purchased. Okay? So you know exactly what you're getting. The synopsis is there, very important. What you can do with this synopsis is two things, other than like and thumbs down, which, all right, it may not be relevant right here, but you can copy it and paste it in a document. You will copy it there, and then you can go over to uh documents, right? And you create a sermon, and then you can paste it. Now, I wouldn't do it, all right? But you can do that, okay? You can even paste it in a notebook as well, right? Open your notebook and you can paste that in your notebook. Another thing that you can do if you want to paste it outside of Logos, you can copy it and go to Microsoft Word document and just click paste, and it will be there for you. If you want to give handouts, like for your, let's say for your youth group, you know, um, or Bible study group, or Logos is really helpful in doing those things. So I would really recommend Logos for teachers, um, for youth leaders as well. Really helpful, right? So what the other thing that you can do is you can continue in study assistance. So you can continue, and this one I'm going to click it. You can continue in study assistance. So define grace, everything comes there. But guess what? You can continue the conversation. Okay. So you might want to ask, okay, let's, how did Spurgeon define grace? And I think you can find Spurgeon here. This will be author, and you go down to, fine, you can just type it in there. Charles Spurgeon. Let's find the author, and then, right, how does Spurgeon define grace? All right, how does Spurgeon define grace? Let's see what we're gonna get there. And you could type in any author. It doesn't have to be Spurgeon. It could be it could be a living author, as long as you have access to the books and so on. Right? And there you have it. And you also have the source as well. Okay, this is from a sermon. This is from a sermon. So far, I guess from his sermons. Okay, two sources are there. Grace for grace, deliverance from the pit. All right, so let's go back into the search. And so that is your smart search. Let's go to the Bible and do a smart search. Uh, mm, grace in salvation. Grace in salvation. A smart search is gonna present me with some finding. Of course, the main verse, yeah, Ephesians 2:8 and 9. Just give me all my verses there pertaining to grace in salvation, right? Grace in salvation. Now, what the search can do as well is not only find the verses for you, because let's go over into this section. I'm going to show you something. Of course, you can link the search to whatever other resources you have open, but you can send searches here. I'm going to click on it, and you see a red dot appears in the search box, in the search tab, a red dot, red circle with a dot in the middle. That means any search that you do is going to come here. It's going to come through this panel, right? This tab right here. But that might be counterproductive, right? If you're thinking what I'm thinking. Because if I type in grace in salvation, I want to search other things, but I don't want this information to be removed. I don't want to type it in again to get it. I want to have this information at the tip of my documents there for me. So what you can do, what I would strongly encourage you to do, is you begin to create passage lists. Save as passage lists, so you will have it there for you. There it is, 20 passages in ESV, Grace in Salvation. You can change the title if you want to. Grace in Salvation. So you can put maybe New Testament ESV, because most of the verses are New Testament anyway. Right? And yeah, it's there for you. So then you can go along now and change what you want to, like change your search. You can search for something new now, right? Because if you don't put it in a passage list, then you're gonna always have to open a new search tab. But you don't want to have, fill up your logos with 10 different search tabs. When you could just send everything here, and as you search, create a passage list as you search. So you can always have it for next time again. Logos is smart, right? The Logos it's user friendly, and it uses a lot of wisdom. To me, those who created it, they know what they're doing, right? Because you don't want a program that is just basically adding more time and wasting your time. All right. I want to try something different again. So we're gonna go back to, let's press back and go back further, and we go back further. We don't have to really do this. We could, right, back to the Bible and go in precise search. Now we're gonna go for grace. And this is grace in the ESV. What you can do, and I will encourage you to do, if you are presenting, that is, if you are, like you're in a debate, or you're in a presentation for the youths, um, All right, let's change it from all passages to just the New Testament. Just New Testament. It says 124. That means about 7 or so in the Old Testament. Okay, no problem. And it's interesting that the first place, according to the ESV, right? The first place that grace is found is in the book of John. Interesting. Okay, so what you can do and I encourage you to do, and you can try this, click on charts. You see here, charts. In your top right corner, charts, and you can create a chart to show visually where the word grace is found in the New Testament. Okay, so you have there 5 times. The most times is in Romans, 5 times, 6 times, sorry. Then you have 5 times in Second Corinthians. Then after that, I think there's a tie between John and Romans 11. Is it Romans? This is Romans. Right. So this is Romans 5. Okay, Romans 5. And then you have John 1. Okay, you give this in chapters. Count per chapter. Okay, this is in count per chapter. I thought it was the books. Right? So this is count per chapter. I want count per book. All right. Okay. There you go. There you go. All right. This is count per book. Uh, so you have 21 in Romans, and that's no surprise there. And so grace is not found in, you have John, Acts, First Corinthians, Second Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So grace is not found in, I think, Third John, First John, and the Gospel, the Matthew, Mark, Luke. Okay, all right, interesting. But it may have just, ESV may have just used a different word. Okay, may have just used a different word. All right. So that's what you can do in presentation, and you can do that for any of your searches. Any of your searches. If you want to do a donut, there you have it. Okay. Now, what you can do with this is you can send it to, you can print it, you can save it as, but you can also see Live Up to Your Calling. That's a series that I've just started. You can send it to a sermon that you're doing. And if you want to show it while you're preaching, you can do that as well. All right. And so let's go back to search now. Let's go back to search. And so you see there that it's precise. What the next thing I'm going to show you, probably the last thing, because there's so much, but I just want to show you the most important things that I normally use that I think will be very helpful to you. Of course, there's some other stuff going across there, but these 3 lines here, I want you to click on them. You can click on them, and doing a precise search, you can look for grace. Let's say, these are 2 sisters, right? Grace and Mercy. Grace and Mercy are 2 sisters. Let's search them. Let's see. In the New Testament, right? They're found together, both terms. 9 results, 4 verses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Grace and mercy. But let's say you want to find this near that. So you want to find grace near let's say faith. Let's say faith. Okay. Okay, we have 16 results. Okay, grace next to faith. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so this on the left, you can expand it and give you different options, right? Different options. You have the original language as well, have different options of how you can look for your words. And this is when you're doing a search. If you're going to search your books to, let's say, define, or let's say, what is grace in, or what are the different types of grace? And you want to find that in your books. Matter of fact, let's change that. Let's look for it in your collections. Let's look for it in the theology. That's another collection that I created. And let's see what we'll come up with. Let's see what we will come up with. There's a synopsis happening there. Right, synopsis taking place. Now, these are all not all, but a number of my theological books on theology, right, that I've put together in a collection, and I have them there. So let's see what the synopsis give me. Theologians distinguish grace across multiple dimensions, each highlighting different aspects of God's unmerited favor. The most fundamental division separates common grace from saving or salvatory grace. Okay. And again, what you can do is copy this and paste it wherever you need it. My sources are there, right? And yeah, if you want to, let me see what option it gives me here. Of course, passage list will not be here because these are not passages. These are information from a particular book, but you can print it as well. Okay, you can print it as well. All right. So that, my friend, and my friends, that's how you can use the search, right? That's how you can use the search to help you as you study the word of God. Uh, verse 6 talks about humble. Again, you can look at humble, and this is one of the searches that I will probably do the entire Bible and look for humble. Yes, so humble, enter 40. This is just the ESV. 40 times the word humble. You save a humble people, and I would do this. I would definitely do that. I could see myself doing this, and I'm going to save this. I'm definitely going to save this. Okay, as a passes list. I'm saving that. Yes, but what the smart search will do, if you type humble, it's going to give you different verses. So James comes up, First Peter, then it goes to the Old Testament. So it's going to give you a different number of different verses. All right. And then it's going to give you a synopsis up front there. Okay. And you can take that as well. So this is what you can do. I think you can add versions here as well. You can add versions. So that's the ESV. Let's add the KJV. Let's add a different version. Let's add the LSB, Legacy Standard Bible. And there you have it. So that you can see how it is stated in another version. All right. Or if you want to work with right. So let's add version there. Let's add the KJV. All right, KJV. right? If you want to work with the two versions side by side and you want to see, how they are stated, right? Then you have them there. And as like I said, Logos search is fantastic. You can do so much and you can find so much and so quickly. That's the thing. A preacher needs to know his tools and he needs to be able to get information from his tools very quickly, his books very quickly, because again, you're working with a particular time between now and Sunday or now and Wednesday, or the case might be. All right. And time is really of essence. Okay. So that was just a brief, I call it brief because there's so much more to show. A brief run through of how we can use Logos Search to help you in your preaching, in your teaching, in your presentation and study of God's word. Okay. And so that was that. And this is Danley Duncan and preaching. And until next time, may the God bless you and as you consider using the Logos Bible software. God bless.